day and come the hour, come the power and the glory. We have come to answer our country's call from the 4 provinces of Ireland. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, we'll answer Ireland's call. Ireland, Ireland, together standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, Ireland's call, we'll answer Ireland's call.
Hombro con hombro los jugadores irlandeses respondiendo al llamado de Irlanda. Esta canción popular que es himno rugbyístico. Se viene el himno de la Argentina cantado por Ramón Poliche.
Sean eternos los laureles que supimos conseguir, que supimos conseguir. Coronados de gloria, vivamos. Juremos con gloria a morir, juremos con gloria a morir, juremos con gloria a morir.
Yeah, it's a proper rugby town, Tucumán, and I guess, Quinny, that's another challenge for this Irish team today compared to last week. They're in rugby country here, and it's a pretty hostile environment.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hostile. Huge atmosphere there, and I think there's 4 Tucumán players in the squad tonight, which will add to that atmosphere. And it's a tough challenge. Both teams will improve, I think, and certainly the Argentinians will sense they had some opportunities last week. They'll try and go after Ireland again, but I think Ireland will be clinical. They need to be clinical tonight, as Joe Schmidt working on that set piece, improving that and cutting out the errors. It's a strong Irish team. It's, bar Cian Healy and Peter O'Mahony, it's the same pack that would have started in the Six Nations. So it's a strong Irish team. Rob Kearney brings a lot of composure and calmness in the back as well, at full back. And so I think Ireland will be, they'll need to improve. They'll need to really counteract that physicality at the breakdown.
Are you surprised that Darren Cave's been shifted inside to inside centre, not given another chance in the 13 shirt, Wally?
Well, he's looked quite sharp at 12, and I think McFadden, he needs to have a go there as well. He's played most of his rugby on the wing, but it'll be very interesting to see how they get out as a combination.
OK, let's get across to Tucumán. Your commentators are Shane Horgan and Mark Robson.
And it's a crisp and fresh day today. Beautiful weather, not too hot, and perfect conditions for attacking rugby. Fast track out there. Ireland will be delighted with it.
Tucalet gets it back to Sanchez. Those two players worked really well in the Argentina team last week, making several line breaks and big meters. And it's Andrew Trimble finds Montero. What a try he scored last week. His 12th try and just his 12th test match for this Argentina team, taken by Rob Kearney. What exactly will the difference be that these Leinster men make to this Irish performance here? They really are demanding a step up. Johnny Sexton. and it's Simon Zebo. Joe Schmidt was pretty complimentary of Simon Zebo's performance last week in the Chaco province in Resistencia. The carrier there was Devon Toner. Here is Johnny Sexton. It's Jamie Heaslip out there. Long ball out to Andrew Trimble. He makes the error. Knock on scrummage. And the scrum, another area where Ireland had great dominance last week.
They did, and they'll be looking to replicate that this week with Ross Best and Kilcoyne. I think we saw in the opening couple of minutes there two of the key factors that are going to be in the game. Johnny Sexton using that pass in behind the back to set up Zebo for an outside break, and also the chop tackle by the Argentinians. Joe Schmidt alluded to it pre-game. It's something that they use instinctively. It's very hard to stop, and it brings the Irish to their knees very quickly.
Dave Kilcoyne on the loose head side had his hair cut this week by Conor Murray, the demon barber of Tucumán. Conor Murray not on the bench. He's injured. It's not because he's a particularly average hairdresser. And the first penalty comes at scrum time. Yeah, Greg Feek was very pleased with the way things went in the front row last week. Not just amongst the starting three in the front row, but the guys who came on as well.
Yeah, not just that, but also something that Joe Schmidt really tries to implement is an 8-man scrum every time. So you don't see number 8s with their heads up. You don't see 7s hanging on to the side of the scrum. They're there to do a job. They really contribute to the scrum. So not just the front rows. And we saw a number of penalties at set time for Ireland last week. I think only one clear possession by the Argentinians, and they've started that way again today.
The line-out also went particularly well, so John Plumtree very pleased with that too, the Irish forwards coach in his final game before he heads back to Wellington. And it's Darren Cave taking a hard flat ball there from Owen Redden. It will be fascinating to see how Cave goes in the 12 shirt. Here's Owen Redden trying to get some tempo in the game already. Or Ireland here. Johnny Sexton brought to ground well. Here is Rhys Ruddock, big game for him. First start for Ireland, big game for the family. Mike Ruddock, of course, in charge of the junior side who play in the World semi-finals against England tomorrow. And it's another penalty, second penalty of the game so far to Ireland. So they have made a good start. And they did talk before the game, Shaggy, about having a really powerful first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they have. They really identified that as very important. I think the analogy was drawn in a number of times this week by Paul O'Connell and also Rory Best about this being similar to a Heineken Cup back-to-back weekend. And I think both Leinster and Ulster in recent seasons have faltered at the hands of Northampton. Big wins and then big turnarounds the next week. They don't want something similar to happen today. So they really, here Ireland have identified the first 10 minutes as something they want to do, to be very explosive, put a lot of pressure on Argentina and not give them a chance, not let them think that they're going to be in this game.
Johnny Sexton's first attempt at the post. We noticed yesterday during the captain's runs that the posts weren't quite parallel. They narrowed towards the top. I think they've fixed them slightly. They're slightly further apart than they were yesterday, but still definitely an advantage to keep the ball low between the posts. I wonder, was Joe Schmidt tempted to give Ian Madigan a run at 10 today, but he's relying on his main man again, Johnny Sexton. Of course, Paddy Jackson was in the original squad, and he, you would think, would have had a run in this second test, but Sexton is the man. Well, you can hear the Hooters trying to put off Johnny Sexton, but it will take a little bit more than that to disturb the equilibrium of the Racing Metro White half.
I think we've seen also a really good play in the opening couple of minutes, integrating the forwards and the backs together. That loop play used by Jamie Heaslip and Rhys Ruddock, with Sexton coming around. Very old Leinster plays now being used by Ireland.
Taken by Andrew Trimble. What a wonderful season he's had. The Europa Players Player of the Year. Challenge in the air from Rob Carney. Here is Owen Redden to Johnny Sexton, and Zebo is off after this one. And Ireland get the bounce through Zebo, and Zebo twists his way over the line, but the flag is up on the far side. How close was that?
It was very close. Great chasing by Simon Zebo. Beautifully extricated kick, and just a bare foot in touch. A little bit lax by the back three there from
Adagio was the player there who got the clearing kick away for the Pumas. The Argentine captain, the scrum half, also captained the Pampas side that won the Pacific Cup in March when they beat the likes of the Reds, Brumbies, Tonga, Fiji and Samoa A teams. And also this Argentina squad have also played in the South American Championship, the Consur Cup, beating Uruguay and Chile heavily. So this panel of players has been together for quite a long time.
Yeah, they're versed together. Now the back three, this Ambrosino's come in, and I think the pendulum mechanism isn't working too well between himself, Tucumán, and obviously Montero. So they're not getting the communication to go, and we saw it last week. It meant a lot of work for Tucumán, and it's somewhere that can be exploited by cross kicks and kicks in behind.
Rory Best was 14 from 14 on the Irish line-out last week, and 4 steals as well. It goes towards Ruddock. They have good options in the line-out here, Ireland, in this game.
They really do. You can't imagine that the line-out's going to be weakened anymore by Jamie Heaslip coming in with Devon, the massive Devon Toner coming in. And obviously, Rhys Ruddock can be used as well. So they have a huge amount of options, and this rolling maul is something they've employed well this year.
Well, they scored a try in the first test through the rolling ball. Here is Fergus McFadden in the bod shirt, number 13. Darren Cave got first dibs last week. Now it's Fergus McFadden's opportunity. Here is Owen Redden. You can really see the efforts by this Irish side to keep this tempo high. Here's Paul O'Connell. Now Dave Kilcoyne, good ball carrier. Looked like the chop may have been body only. Here's Darren Cave. Trying to set the ball for Owen Redden. Joe Schmidt talked during the week about Ireland attempting to keep the ball off the ground today. Now it's Johnny Sexton again. Now Fergus McFadden. Simon Zebo switches across. He finds Rob Kearney. He's well wrestled to the ground. Good covering scramble defending by the Pumas. Sexton once more to Ruddock. It's a lot of possession in these early stages for this Irish team. Determined to win their first ever series in Argentina. Off goes Paul O'Connell, the captain. Now it's Owen Redden again. Inside to Rob Kearney, almost getting away. De La Vega, who scored a try towards the end of the test in Resistencia, makes the tackle. But the referee was playing an advantage.
And Rob Kearney runs that line so well. He hides in the far side of the ruck, so he can't be seen. He's completely invisible. And Owen Redden makes that little break that we've seen so many times. He breaks out wide left, and it's a no-look pass inside. Kearney nearly through there for a try.
Well, Argentina being heavily penalised by the referee in this opening 8 minutes, and it's the hooker Matias Cortese who is in the bin. So really the start couldn't have gone any less well for Argentina. They've been under a huge amount of pressure, and now they've got to face the 15 versus 14 for the next 10 minutes.
Certainly, they've hardly seen the ball. They've hardly have any possession, and Cortese there is one of their leading ball carriers as well. Him along with Macomb last week were very, very big in the carry. Now they have to do without him, not just around the park, but also at scrum time.
Well, that's a good decision by the referee, because the IRB directive has come through that the refs must look for players going into that chop tackle and only using their bodies and not their arms, and that's exactly what Cortese did.
We're also seeing Ireland get a little bit lateral on the backline move. Sexton's holding quite well on the inside and using a long pass. It's forcing the wingers to get a little bit lateral. They could use with a switch play underneath, could really straighten that line.
Johnny Sexton right in front. Johan Huijsen has been signed for Racing Metro. He was on the bench today for South Africa against Wales, so Johnny Sexton might have to work a little bit harder to maintain his shirt at Racing next season. I'm sure he will still be numero uno.
I think he certainly will, and might be glad of having a bit of support at 10. He's played a phenomenal amount of games this year, and unfortunately was struck down by injuries a couple of times. So both he and I'm sure Joe Smith will be both happy that he's got a bit of support there at 10 and Racing.
It's the Bordeaux out half. Nicholas Sanchez with the restart. Jamie Heaslip underneath it. 26 times this season Heaslip has played the full 80 minutes. And it's Owen Redden. He's put under a little bit of pressure there. It's just was enough to put him off slightly. Didn't quite get the distance he might have hoped for there.
And Jamie Heaslip back into the side after a week off. We spoke to the old Argentinian winger Diego Albanese last week, who had broken Irish hearts in '99 in Milan. and he was very worried about the impact of adhesive and actually toner as well against this younger and inexperienced Argentinian side.
Well, they've no hooker, so it's the skipper Landazio. The French used to do this many moons ago, using their scrum half to throw to the line out, and it's a dodgy one, as you'd expect. Ireland steal.
No straight.
And it's not straight either. So yeah, real pressure, not just around the field, but at line-out time now for Argentina.
I think as well he might have gone maybe a little bit too excited there and went for a tail ball or a middle of the line-out ball. Maybe would have been better serve it, looking at something at 1 or 2 in the line-out.
Rather optimistic in how they do bring on a replacement hooker. Just a little bit too late. Valdez wanders on. The Tucumán hooker, 6 Tucumán men in this Argentine 23, and it really is a fervent crowd here. Well-filled stadium, 92-year-old stadium, the Estadio Monumental. It's a nice dry heat out there as well, 17 degrees, so not as hot or as humid as last week in Resistencia.
This is a perfect attacking position as well. I think on a number of occasions the last 2 weeks has been situations like this where you could see Ireland were primed to go, but unfortunately or fortunately they got a penalty at scrum time, and it sort of took the momentum out of their game plan a bit. You can see they're stacked 4 to the left of the scrum, and I'd be very surprised if we don't see Fergus McFadden coming down that from that 13 channel down hard line into the 10 area.
Surprisingly, the pitch just cutting up a little bit here. The players reckon this week's pitch was much better than last week's, which was pretty deep and fluffy, but it didn't give way. And Ireland certainly not giving way at scrum time again. Here is Jimmy Heaslip, but he was afforded a bit of space there. Here is Rhys Ruddock, steps away. Well, good feet by big Rhys Ruddock. And in comes Sanchez, and he comes in legally. Back there sweeping is Rory Best, Ireland's most capped hooker. Johnny Sexton. It's McFadden. Darting line from McFadden. Lavanini making the tackle. He made 15 tackles last week, the second row for Argentina. Simon Zebo. Johnny Sexton plays temporary scrum half, and another penalty, and they really are beginning to build up here against Argentina, and the referee is going to have speaks.
You can use
I think we'll listen to the referee here.
Just make sure you understand my message, okay?
I do understand.
Well, you might be able to hear him at home, but we can't hear him in the commentary position.
No, but it's okay.
The referee will call the play back. Ireland have gone quickly here. Andrew Trimble's in possession on this near side, but the referee was in mid-conversation, mid-flow with the Puma captain.
Too many infringements about your team.
The 2 Argentinian centres, De La Fuente and Azcarate, they're both very solid in defence. They're making that side-on tackle, but they're just not working the back end of the tackle. And when the original tackle is made, there's penalty after penalty be given away or infringement, and that's frustrating Argentina, but frustrating the ref also. And it's playing into the hands of Ireland, and a huge opportunity now to get into the Argentinian 22 and employ that rolling maul that we've seen so effective in the last couple of times for Ireland, but actually right throughout the season it's gone very well. Something that John Plumtree, Ford's coach, is huge interest in.
Johnny Sexton kicks towards the corner. Condolences to the family of Jimmy Nelson, the former RFU president and former Grand Slam winner who passed away yesterday. So Ireland in a very good position here as a result of this play involving Simon Zebo. Mendocino with the tackle, so the line out just outside the 22 here.
And Ireland have pulled Chris Henry all the way out into this open side, out into the wing, ready for a cross kick, but also maybe subterfuge.
Jimmy Heaslip takes the ball. Here's Johnny Sexton, the Darren Cave. And pumped away by Azcarate. And a little bit of defending to do. It's Jimmy Heaslip. He does look fresh, doesn't he? After that week off, did play towards the latter stages of the first test, but he has incredible endurance, as Jimmy Heaslip. Or Tucumán, you've got to watch this man. He is inclined to beat the first offender. He did scythe through the Irish midfield on occasions last week. Little chip through for Baez to chase. Baez does well to get there, and it's still a Fuente who pops the ball up, and the pass was forward as the crowd bayed for the tackle without the ball.
And I think Andrew Trimble may be in a bit of trouble there. I think he anticipated the pass going to Montero, tackled him without the ball, and he may get 10 minutes in the bin for this.
15 green, taking the man without the ball. Yeah. Penalty.
Sanchez really exploiting the fast line speed of the Irish team, the little chip in behind.
Okay. 15 green.
Ireland had tried to fool Argentina by sending Henry out wide and then go through the middle.
15 green.
But I think Trimble could be in a bit of trouble here.
15 green.
Pascal Gazer speaking to Paul O'Connell, the hands in the pocket.
Please have a look.
Just wait. Check.
He needs the TMO. I think he's not quite sure who made that tackle.
Yeah, I think he knows somebody did something wrong, but not quite sure who at the moment.
Sean,
he's going to have a look at the big screen, and I don't know if that's going to exonerate anyone from the Irish team.
I'm too far away from the big screen.
Rob Kearney clearly protesting that it wasn't him.
I can see clearly it's a big screen.
TMO, Sean Veldsman. So let's see.
You can't really say it wasn't me, it was my mate, sir.
Yeah, it was him over there. Always blame the Ulsterman. It's the best way forward. Well, McFadden goes in there. Baez did well to get down on the ball. And it was De La Fuente with the little chip through. And it was Trimble, definitely Trimble, who took out Montero.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to be down to 14 against 14 for a period of time, I think. And you know, there's a debate as to whether that was a try-scoring possibility as well.
Yeah, no question about it whatsoever. It's Andrew Trimble.
Can you check if you're not probably knocked on before this
I'm
action?
not quite sure where we're having to see this again, because number 14, by that evidence, is your man.
I think it may be an issue. Just the match screen here on the ground is quite small. We've got a great high D camera here and screen where it's a little bit small. It's a long way. It's all the way up the other end of the park for the referee. He might have a little bit of trouble seeing it.
Well, if Pascal can't see it, then you leave it up to the TMO, Sean Veldsman. You want another look? Well, it's becoming a problem in the game of rugby football, where TMO decisions can take a long time.
Well, maybe he's looking at an initial knock-on there, and if that knock-on isn't given, then it's beside the point whether Trimble makes the tackle early or not.
Yeah, good call, Shane. A couple of things then to be decided potentially.
Smart play by Sanchez, though. Really smart play when you identify that. And nudging that little ball back. Great hunger to get onto the ball first as well.
Okay.
Football style crowd here in Tucumán. Real World Cup buzz around at the moment. Of course, in Argentina they play Bosnia and Herzegovina on Sunday. And 50,000 Argentinian fans have travelled across to Brazil to support their team.
Yes.
We drove 560 miles
the knock-on is not clear
to Tucumán. We were passed by a Chilean camper van convoy. The vehicles draped in Chilean flags, driving from Santiago to the venue for their first match against Australia. 2,220 miles, and they were rewarded with a victory.
13 green, 13, 1, 3. We are 13 green, 1, 4, 14. Okay, that's correct.
This is taking an interminable length of time to sort out.
Between the two
and the problem clearly, as you can see from the body language of the referee Pascal Gazer, is that he can't hear very clearly.
This is a bit of a momentum killer as well. Ireland have really established themselves, and I think he's calling over Andrew Trimble. After a good break, this isn't ideal for either team, but it does take the sting out of that Argentinian attack.
No penalty try because
well, it's what we expected from the first replay. It was Andrew Trimble was the guilty man. 10 minutes for him.
Because the pass is forward here.
We now get the chance to see the languid style of Sanchez. Wasn't too bad in his kicking last week, in these conditions as well. there's less variables, and you think that style it'll be more effective.
His kicking was pretty decent. His running with ball in hand was quite superb. The one main fault was the intercept pass that he threw to Andrew Trimble, which pretty much decided the game in Resistencia last weekend.
I think last week we saw also the two key players, the quality, Landazio at 9 and Sanchez at 10, really running the game. A lot of the attacks were inside and outside those two players. Look to be playing a little bit more width this time, but they're certainly the ones who can pull the strings and make things happen.
Well, Sanchez, he's the regular 10 for the main Pumas side in the Rugby Championship. He started all 6 games in the 2013 Championship and all 3 games in the autumn. So a real core in this team around 9 and 10, a core of strength.
And Ireland have split the attack for the kick-off. They've also given themselves the short one of Rob Kearney down the middle that they employ very often, Paul O'Connell on the right, with Dev Toner on the left.
Ireland just 1 loss in their last 7. That was against England in the Six Nations. And playing very well, Ireland, the European champions, very well away from home as well. And here is Landazio. Rob Kearney. Johnny Sexton. Massive height into the cloudless sky here. Taken by De La Vega, put under pressure by Johnny Sexton. Landazio got the ball away to Baez. Very young back row here for Argentina. How much though will they miss Benjamin McComb? Here is Montero. They love Montero here. They really rate him, and I think already he's quite highly rated around Europe, not just in his home country.
Yeah, and they're right to rate him. I think Argentina have signed him up for the new Super 16 franchise that's coming, but he is a disaster to try and stop on. These are good tacklers out in the wide area. McFadden's very strong. He uses the handoff, and Rob Kearney had to be fully committed, and even then body weight against body weight just barely knocked him over the sideline.
In Super Rugby, there's talk that the Argentine side may be called the Pampas. I suggested they should call their team the Malbecs.
You'd certainly know enough about it.
We've had a bit of experience of it. Here is Rory Best then, Jamie Heaslip, Owen Redden. Beautiful line out, well worked, and again it's the kick pass, and it's Simon Zebo. Good hands from Zebo, and Kearney is chasing after this one, and the bounce nearly working out there for Ireland. And again it's desperate scrambling in defence by Argentina. Amorosino who got the ball down.
Yeah, Amorosino did well to get back, but his positioning is all over the place off the set face. Ireland backs are tightening up, and it means that the back line of Argentina are forced to remain tight as well. Then Zebo's standing on that wide touchline position, and Sexton finding the kick pass. Did very well to keep the ball alive inside. Great chase up the middle from Rob Kearney, but Amorosino just got back in time to bring it over for a 5-metre scrum. And this is an area of dominance, and Ireland should be really looking, if not just for the pushover try here, but if that's not possible, then be in a very good attacking position.
Well, they have overwhelming ascendancy in the scrum over the 2 games so far of Ireland. Big Mike Ross on the tight head side. Dave Kilcoyne, he's had to work hard for his place at Munster this season, with James Cronin coming through well.
He's done very well this year, and just back to that kick from Sexton, made possible as well by a monster pass by Owen Redden. Really fast ball off the top, immediately into Sexton's hand. It gives him time to execute the kick, and gave Zebo the opportunity to gather it.
There's an exquisite line out by Ireland again. So once more, the set piece right on message for Ireland.
Keep scrumming, keep scrumming. Set.
And can they get on message from this excellent attacking position? And it's a penalty to Ireland. In goes Owen Redden, looks for the dart, and the referee sees no advantage there, and Ireland have the penalty. I wonder will they take the points here, or the attempt at the points, or try something a little bit more kinky?
No, I think it'd be a good position just to scrum down, and that's what Paul O'Connell has done. There's obviously an advantage there that they feel they can exploit. I don't think when you have an opportunity with a team like that, you don't take your foot off the pedal. You keep on going. The scrum looks very strong, every opportunity to actually score a penalty try here also as well. If the issues in the Argentinian scrum continue.
You just get the feeling this Argentina front row are under absolutely immense pressure. It'll be fascinating to hear what Paul Wallace has to say at the half-time break. Herrera on the tight head side. He's highly rated. He played 70 minutes in the top 14 final for Castro against Toulon, but he was one of the men who suffered for Argentina in that first test.
And like an area for Ireland that has traditionally been a problem with no strength and depth, all of a sudden is looking very strong. Jack McGrath actually covering the tight head side on the bench, along with Cronin on the bench as well. Both players have done very well for their respective provinces, and now they're translating that into performances for Ireland.
Another frustrating interlude.
You must straight for the head. Yeah.
But the referee's got to do his job and try and sort out what's going on that Irish loose head side. Dave Kilcoyne made the Pro 12 Dream Team this season. His second start for Ireland, 10th cap. Doesn't get too many opportunities due to the presence of Cian Healy. So he'll want to make a big statement here.
Crutch. Fine. Set.
It's on the blind side here. Argentina have only put one man over, with Ireland two. Great opportunity to give the ball to the blind side here. Argentina with numbers down. That's very sloppy defending. If Ireland send two down that side, they really need to cover those numbers a bit. Maybe have the 9 break off and defend the short side. But if they continue to defend it the way they are, I'm sure Sexton will just want that ball.
We just wonder Argentina going down here because they simply can't cope. And again, that's a point for Paul Wallace to look at the break.
And I think we're seeing the power of that 8-man drive. That's what they're after. Everyone scrummaging down, putting the Argentinians under severe pressure in an area of the game that they're traditionally very strong in, but haven't been in the last couple of weeks.
Owen Redden feeds, and this time the front row stays up. Ireland looking for a secondary shove here. Jimmy Heaslip picks up, looks inside for Chris Henry. Oh, forward pass. That looked a little bit marginal, but the referee was right there.
It was a smart play. There was a big sweep from the short side to the open by Johnny Sexton. It was dragging over the Argentinian defence. It meant that they were all lateral. Smart play by Jamie Heaslip, and a move that we've seen many times Munster actually employ to great effect. The 8 breaks wide. It's a no-look pass inside to the 6, who's delaying his run off or the 7, who's delaying his run off the scrum, but in that time just a little bit forward.
Well, the recommendation here, the way the Argentine scrum has gone, is get this in, out and away as fast as they possibly can.
Ireland down number in the backfield, so huge spaces to hit.
Landagio feeds. Awele at number 8, off goes Landagio, and he has seen that space. That's brilliant by Landagio. The support on the outside, it's Amaracino. Amaracino steps inside, and he didn't quite find Escarade. That could have been the killer pass. Here's De La Vega. What a breakout by Argentina. Sanchez plays scrum half. Here's Landagio now. Remember, they have the extra man here. And it's Tucumán with some honey-coated, hypnotic rugby from almost on their own line by Argentina.
Ireland undone by the drift defence on 2 occasions. First deep in their own half, the break from Sanchez, and then finished off by a big step from Tucumán down in his own half. Beautiful pass. I thought it was going to die out here. Amaracino dying with the ball. Escarate really wanted it, but they recycled well, moved the ball wide with 2 long passes, and we saw that a number of times last week at Ireland. The drift defence being exploited by Tucumán. They know that he only steps off his left foot. He's done it a number of times already in the game, and just no communication, too stretched, too many attackers from Argentina, and too much class there from Tucumán. A really sharp, left-footed step under the sticks for what looks like a 7-pointer.
Sanchez adds the extra 2. Well, what a shocker for Ireland. They were pulverising the Argentine scrum on the Argentine line, and look what has happened as a result.
Darren Cave just got a little bit lateral, should have been tighter to the scrum, pushing the man to the touchline. Instead, Sanchez came on his inside and really left them in trouble. They were men back down in the backfield certainly, but Zebo had to stay back there. It left a lot of pressure, but in those circumstances you don't come up with pace, you just buy time and push out to the touchline.
Well, we knew this Argentine side, we were really up for this game with a quarter of the squad coming from the city, close to the Aconcagua Mountains, part of the Andes chain. Sanchez goes into contact.
Use it!
Cortese, who carried well last week, rather robust, broad-beamed individual.
No!
And now Landagio clearing for Argentina. Well, huge frustration for Ireland because they had so much possession and territory in the opening facets of this game.
It really is, and they're the areas that Argentina are going to exploit. If they do get an opportunity, they have to go after it. Ireland very strong on their own scrum ball, very strong at line out time, but there's that chance for a break when they're numbered down, and it was taken very well. We're seeing the fingerprints of Landagio and Sanchez all over the Argentinian team.
Ireland here going to take a deep breath and find their way, or find a way to punch back, taken by Heaslett. Owen Redden, now Johnny Sexton, little short flat ball to Darren Cave, making progress. And here is Rob Kearney making more progress for Ireland. Owen Redden choosing the blind side and finds Rhys Ruddock. Again, he shows good footwork in those tight confines. Owen Redden for Dave Kilcoyne, who's quick off the mark, but he doesn't get a chance there to accelerate. Johnny Sexton. And Cave, he's forced to take contact, but gets away from the contact. The attempted tackle by Ascarate, and now it's Lavanini, and Lavanini drops the ball, but there had been an initial knock-on scrummage to Argentina.
Yeah, opportunity for Cave there. He did well in the tackle when he decided he was going to pass the ball and made yards after contact, but there was about 4, if not 5, Irish attackers outside him, which he could have let the ball out to. We saw earlier on the move by Ireland that we saw during the Six Nations, that ball back inside to Rob Kearney after the initial hit on the open side, then down the blind side and back in under. Lavandini there carrying the ball, who's one of their primary carriers, has been this week and last week, along with Cortese.
Glenn, some people are talking the same time for you. Is there a reason
why? They need to stop him getting possession.
Lavanini made 15 tackles as well last week. He was one of their star performers. And number 16 is Santiago Iglesias Valdez. And we'll call him Valdez because there are 2 Iglesiases on the bench for Argentina.
9 blue. Open.
Argentina and Ireland have met 19 times, 11 wins to Ireland, 7 to Argentina, 1 drawn game.
Fine.
Resistencia was Ireland's second win in total in Argentina, the first an unofficial test match in 1952, and then the official one last week. Here goes Landagio.
Outside,
and we know they are not afraid to attack from deep, and that is a great clearing kick from Ascarate, the centre.
Yeah, fantastic play, and you can see every time Landagio takes that ball out of the scrum, he's a threat. Even there, the spacing didn't look right for the Irish team. They looked a little bit vulnerable inside, but instead it went to Ascarate, and a beautiful kick to take Argentina down to the 22.
Ascarate, who spent a few months in Glasgow this season, he's one of the Tucumán 6 in this squad. Rory Best to Paul O'Connor. Played his 100th test match last week. Here goes Chris Henry, scored a try from a great driving ball last week by Ireland. So well controlled that was. Now it's Owen Redden. unfortunate fumble.
Just not far enough there by Owen Redden. The difference a couple of meters makes in those box kicks is really, really significant. You do 5 meters too far, you can't get them. It's a comfortable catch for the winger, Ambrosino there. And 5 meters too short, and it's almost impossible for Zebo to get through the traffic to make a decent challenge and get up for the goal.
And Argentina having a great record at home in recent times. They've won just one of their last 11. That was against Georgia last June. But of course, quite a few of those games these days are in the Rugby Championship. There's the likes of New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa.
A massive learning curve for them. Something they're going to benefit from. Certainly, the Super 16 franchise is going to make a difference for them as well.
Well, the Malbecs will go well, I think. Here's Owen Redden, Johnny Sexton, Darren Cave played 13 last week, 12 this week. Simon Zebo again involved, and Andrew Trimble back on the pitch after serving his suspension, and it's out of play. Flag is up.
Yeah, pretty impressive move across the backfield. Zebo straightening nicely, getting Trimble away on the outside. I think Trims probably won't be happy with that decision. If you're going to kick the ball through there, you need to keep it in the pitch, put pressure on Tucumán to come across and knock the ball out and win the line out.
Iglesias Valdez finds Baez. Here's Landazio, difficult ball from the pick-up there. Big Devon Toner trying to use that 6'10" to charge the ball down. Here's Zebo, bit of space for Zebo here. A little goose step from Zebo. Here is Owen Redden, Johnny Sexton now to Fergus McFadden. Spent a lot of his rugby career on the wing, of course. And now Ruddock.
Ruddock's been carrying well this game. He's looked very powerful. His meter after the contact, you see it there, the big fend. Meter after contact are brilliant, very hard man to bring down.
Bouncing off Pumas there was Rhys Ruddock, now Kilcoyne. Here Johnny Sexton once more, and inside is Rob Carney.
Yes, man! On the way,
That was a move made in Leinster. And here's Leinster again through Jamie Heaslip. Half a dozen Leinstermen back in this Irish side today, fresh from that Pro 12 victory against Glasgow, and another penalty conceded in a very kickable position here by Argentina. They've been guilty of that in the first half an hour.
Yeah, well, he's straight over the top there, going for that chop tackle that Joe Schmidt mentioned before the game. And speaking to Conor Murray before the game also, and he was actually concerned about the way it was being implemented, very often without hands, very low down at knees and ankles, and if you're not executing that tackle correctly, you're not getting arms around, it can be very dangerous. We saw the dive in there, so Owen Redden easily could have got him injured there, also over the top, and it's a penalty right in front.
Well, it's an absolute knee breaker, that tackle, if it's completed illegally. So Johnny Sexton, straightforward you would think for him.
We've seen a couple of the standard moves that actually Ireland tried last week, that switch play back inside to Rob Kearney hiding on the short side again, on the diagonal run. Tried again this week, and not quite as accurate as you'd like, as Ireland would like, as Joe Schmidt would like. It's not quite clicking the backs yet. They are sometimes a little lateral. They are knocking away the penalties, but they won't be happy. I think that centre pairing aren't quite as fluid as they might be, and that's fair enough. It's going to take them a little while to get settled. I'd like to see Darren Cave going on that outside break and bringing Fergus McFadden a little bit more down that 10-12 channel.
Yeah, there was some talk this week that Ian Madigan might have had a run at 12. He came on at number 12 after 8 minutes of that Celtic League final for Brian O'Driscoll and played very well indeed.
I'd be surprised if we don't see a bit of him at some stage during the game.
Off goes Heaslip. Owen Redden shaping himself for the box kick. And back there is Owelli, replacing that man Benjamin Lacombe, who was the star performer in the pack for Argentina last week. It's Landazio, tight little space for Tucumán. In comes Landazio. Big thumping tackle by Rhys Ruddock. You're quite right, Shane. He's made a good start to this game. Here is Sanchez, and yet again he's looking for that dart. Remember, look out for Sanchez and Tucumán with ball in hand. Landazio, Tucumán once more, the try scorer for Argentina. The only try of this first half so far. And let's remember that 13 members of the Argentine squad are not involved in this panel. They're going into training soon in Pensacola, in Florida, to build for the Rugby Championship, and that's 13 of their big stars. So this a combination squad from Argentina involving members who won that Pacific Nations Cup, the Pampas 15, also Cougars in there and Jaguars, as well as Pumas. A lot of animals on that Argentina side.
It's half a zoo there. Ireland holding up Argentina there. Argentina trying to exploit that short side with some of their big runners, big carriers. Again, they're looking for the meters after contact. Jamie Heaslip does very well to hold up, and then the collapse small, and the scrum goes to Ireland in a position that they'll be happy with to attack from, because it places Ambrosino in a really difficult position. Does he come up and deal with the threat in front of him, or does he stay back and cover the attacking kick that's been used already a number of times?
Redden, Sexton on a complicated move there. It certainly did not work out. Miscommunication there. The line's breaking down. Owen Redden again, that inside ball. Here's Rob Kearney. Rob Kearney takes on Montero. Beautiful dummy by Rob Kearney. Brilliant work by the Lions fullback. Here is Owen Redden. Now Johnny Sexton. And they just managed to get a hand in there. Did Argentina. Away comes Lucas Amorosino, and it's still a Fuente gets the offload away. Yet again, Argentina from deep areas of the pitch are not afraid to put the passes together.
Brilliant break by Rob Kearney, also retained possession of the ball, and there was a great opportunity there to score a try. Johnny Sexton will be fuming for two reasons. One, he wasn't happy with the execution of his kick, it wasn't particularly good, but more than that, it was screaming on for numbers to flood down the short side. That's a great break by Rob Kearney, very powerful, through a dummy, he's made extra yards. The wasn't on for the pass. There was a defender in the lane. Oscar Gete was right in the middle of the lane, so he didn't pass it, and then a poor executed kick by Johnny Standards. But there was a huge opportunity to go there, and none of the Irish players reacted to go on the open side.
Taken by Toner there initially. Ruddock again, the ball carrier. Johnny Sexton. Rob Kearney is after this one, and it's taken by Aweli Melendaggio. Amorosino. Tucalet. Oh, you got to mark Tucalet. Here's Amorosino. The pace of Amorosino takes on Simon Zebo. Crunching hit by Zebo. Again, the Irish defence is looking flaky at times. There are gaps to be exploited there by Argentina.
Certainly are, and Ireland should really be aware of Tucalet at this stage. A number of times he stepped hard off that left foot. You know it's coming, but much like Shane Williams, it's a very difficult thing to stop. Himself and Amorosino have linked very well together this hour. Amorosino struggling a little bit indeed, but he's very keen to get the ball. We saw at the end of the game last week, keen to get the ball, and he did it again there.
Well, Argentina made 11 line breaks to Ireland's 10 last week, and once more they are looking impressive in attack. And Les Kiss again, you imagine, will not be too happy with some of the defending. A lot of one-on-ones were missed in Resistencia.
Yeah, just the integrity of the line isn't very good. Even on the drift defence, there seems to be the spacing seems to be too wide, and as a result, that step underneath the defence is allowing the Argentinians to exploit space and the spacings of the Irish defensive system. If that ball had gone to Montero there, I think Ireland could have been in big trouble.
Argentina trying to spread the word. They are planning to bid for the Rugby World Cup in 2023. They're playing the Rugby Championship games in La Plata against New Zealand, Mendoza and Salta. Next week it's Scotland in Cordoba, and these two tests way up in the north of Argentina in Resistencia and Tucumán. That Scotland-Argentina game is live on Sky Sports on Friday night, not on Saturday. And Scotland want to give themselves a bit of time as they head across to play their final test of the June series against South Africa. Also live on Sky Sports. Isn't everything?
Crutch. Fine.
Ireland have won the last 4 meetings between these two, 3 in Dublin. The last loss to the Pumas actually came at the 2007 Rugby World Cup, but they're under pressure here on the scoreboard, that's for sure. Or Ireland in this first half, and Rob Kearney gets his kick away, and Rob Kearney did kick beautifully in the captain's run yesterday. Kicks like that.
He did. It's very interesting to see Ireland kicking a little bit of ball off the park. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think they're maybe overplaying it a little bit. It's allowing Argentina to get back into this game, and you know, we're 37, nearly 38 minutes into it. Argentina are 1 point up. All of a sudden, I think the Irish mindset is this isn't an exhibition game. It's something that we want to win. There is a two-set series to be won here, and if we keep on overplaying the ball and we're not playing to our strengths, we're going to keep Argentina in this.
Well, that was something that Joe Schmidt emphasised in the press conference on Thursday, and also to me before the game. Yes, there is a World Cup in 2015, but Ireland have never won a series in Argentina, and he wanted to pick a side with a very, very strong spine and make sure they put Argentina away today. But at the moment, they're struggling to do that.
Yeah, he said it would be remiss of him not to try and win this series, and I think he was very keen to do that. We've seen by the selections today as well, O'Connell and Best, Heaslip, Sexton, Redden, Carney. That's a very strong spine of a team. Yes, he's supplemented it with players with less experience, but there's a lot of good players there, and maybe one of the guys with less experience, Rhys Ruddock, has been one of the best performers.
Redden, Sexton to McFadden. Quickly cleared out. Johnny Sexton. And again, there was just a semblance of a hole there on that Argentina defence, taken on by Paul O'Connell. Another penalty in their own half conceded by Argentina.
So I think Aweli was unlucky there. He seemed to be on the ball first in. He was on, whether he was on his feet or not is a different matter. Another opportunity here for 3 points, but Sexton just got in behind. It was a really tidy run there by Darren Cave. He stopped the Argentinian defence. It gave Sexton a little bit of space, and didn't quite exploit it, but maybe a chance now.
Well, the maul was superb last week on one occasion in particular, and through the Six Nations as well, in particular against Wales.
Might get a look at this now. Aweli going in. Doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot wrong there. He seemed to come in through the gate. He's still on his feet, and he's first in.
Well, he looked like he was supporting his body weight there, so it may have been a harsh call. Rory Bass to Paul O'Connell. Can they set this maul? It's quite a good distance from the line here. It would be quite an achievement to go all the way from this point. Paul O'Connell is at the tail, and Paul O'Connell is in possession. And no doubt Argentina would have worked hard on the maul defence during the week. They really are flying in there. Marvellous commitment by them. Owen Redden, now it's Darren Cave. Sanchez comes in, side on. Owen Redden, and it's Rhys Ruddock, and Montero gets his boot to the ball. And then once more the chase is on. De La Fuente is all over Rob Kearney here. He did brilliantly, down and up, in possession. Well played by the 2009 Lions fullback, Test fullback.
Phenomenal play there by Rob Kearney. He got back under severe pressure, managed to get down on the ball, pick it up, and great work by Zebo, helping out his mate.
Half-time here in the heat, the hostile environment of Tucumán. Argentina have the only try, and they lead by 10 points to 9. It's going to be tough to see off this determined Argentina side. A pretty ragged first-half performance by Ireland, and it's De La Vega who takes the ball from the kick-off from Johnny Sexton.
The back line of Argentina has been very impressive so far this match. Azcárate challenging everything, really being the dominant back on display. Him with Ambrosino as well as his back three mate Tucumán really look dangerous in attack. They're not all together there in defence, just out wide, but Azcárate and De La Fuente have looked solid in the chop tackles.
A little bit of a lack of concentration there from the usually sublime and efficient Nicolas Sanchez. So Ireland get the scrummage, looking for a fast start in this second half. The fast start in the first half didn't really pay off the way they had hoped, that's for sure. When Argentina last met Ireland in Dublin before this tour series, Ireland won by 46 points to 24, and that was against a full strength Argentina side. 7 tries to 2. Doesn't look like anything like that is going to happen this time, unless something spectacular occurs in this second half. Owen Redden, Johnny Sexton, can the back line knit together in this second half? That's Fergus McFadden. Here is Owen Redden to Rhys Ruddock. Good strong first half from Ruddock. The arm is out again from the French referee Gozer, taken on by Chris Henry. That's a good carry by the Ulsterman. And the referee's going to bring them back for that penalty. Will Ireland go for the 3 points here to put themselves into the lead? They have gone on occasion in this game for the corner.
Yeah, interesting to see the decision to be made. I think probably more likely to the post, and Paul O'Connell has indicated that. Also, that first scrum opportunity to attack from Ireland, instructive of the sort of attack that they're going to employ. Instead of moving the ball wide as they had done many times in that first half, they went up the middle with McFadden and looked to go around the corner.
Well, Ireland have lost 6'10" of prime line-out beef in that first half, or at half-time, because Devon Toner is off. Ian Henderson is on. Pretty lively operator in the line-out himself is Henderson. Well, Johnny Sexton needs to be lively off the kicking tee.
Henderson probably a bit more of an offloading game as well. Toner massive at line-out time. Henderson a great young talent. Somebody who can really get the team moving and get those offloads. That's something that Ireland haven't been doing. They haven't, not a great offloading team. I think only 4 last week.
Johnny Sexton trying to curl it round, but it's unsuccessful from the Racing Metro right half. So at the moment, things definitely not going the way Ireland would have expected and hoped in this second test. They did expect a much more proficient display.
And although control for large periods of the game, Argentina are really playing a counter-attacking style, soaking up Ireland pressure, and then, very often they kick through, making huge yardage and putting Ireland under pressure.
Yeah, they're punching off the ropes well, or Argentina, as was demonstrated through the try that they scored. Jimmy Heaslett. Ireland again making an extra metre or 2 in contact. They've done that pretty well. Here's Chris Henry. Owen Redden, Johnny Sexton looks inside for Ian Henderson. So mobile, really exciting prospect, whether it's in the back row or in the second row. Well, this time it's Ireland's turn to give away the penalty for not releasing.
Yeah, and Henderson didn't do a lot wrong there. Sanchez was in very quickly on the ball. Henderson did very well with the carry. He was meters after contact, exactly what you want from one of your big men, but the support was just a fraction of a second slow to get there. And in fairness to Sanchez, not a big man, not something you'd expect of him, but he was down on that ball very quickly.
Tucumán, who spent a season at Sale, currently at Bordeaux, but didn't play too much rugby for them last season. Played in the Amlin Challenge Cup.
He's one of those players, and Argentinian players very often do it when they put on that blue and white jersey. They're a different setup altogether. That's a very good stop as well by Sanchez there.
He may actually be without a club at the moment, Tucumán. Not sure that Bordeaux renewed his contract. And it's won well by De La Vega. Wasn't quite what they planned on the line out, but it worked out pretty well. And Herrera thunders on. He's close to 20 stones. Is the Pumas tight head. And Ireland do very, very well in the contact area, and that's the sort of thing that John Plumtree will be very pleased with.
Yeah, he loves it. That's bread and butter. It looked like a bit of a knock-on from the line-out. Originally went through the hands. No, it was a great take, in fact, by De La Vega. Carried the ball well and great presentation. It allows you to move the ball quickly, but ultimately no success for Argentina.
Remember these teams playing for the Admiral Brown Trophy. William Brown, Irish-born, first Admiral of Argentina, born in Mayo. At the moment it looks like Ireland are going to have to work every single sinew if they're going to get their hands on that cup. This is a long, long way from being a given for Ireland.
It's quite a big short side here. Must be tempting. Yes, Carney's in on the left-hand side to use that big left boot to drive down the field, but there's a reasonable size short side which is being defended only by L'Adagio on the scrum, and then a very, very deep Ambrosino.
Well, with a squad along these lines, Argentina played England twice last June. They lost 32-3 and 51-26, 11 tries to 4 overall. And remember, that was an England squad shorn of its lions. But putting up a much more impressive performance as this Argentina side this time around, a year on. Owen Redden, Johnny Sexton again, little punch, pass kick, and it's a good one, and it's Andrew Trimble. They need the bounce here, and Trimble gets it. Brilliant by Andrew Trimble. What a tackle that was. It had to be the tap, or Ireland were clean away and through Trimble, who scored in that first test as well.
Trimble's done really well there, but smart play by Sexton. It looked as if it was on down the short side. Sanchez was drawn over. The ball came out to Sexton on the open side, so there was huge space in behind for Trimble. Beautiful kick pass. Trimble does well with a kick over the top of Tuchel, manages to ankle tackle him, and the ball squirts out. Unfortunately, Darren Cave is driven into touch.
Tuchel needed his long fingernails there to get just enough on Andrew Trimble. He's superbly in form, Andrew Trimble.
He really is, and had a little 10-minute break in the first half. He's looking very sharp. But smart play by Sexton. That's 5 metres out from the goal line as well. It takes a certain amount of character to make that kick, and it's good to see it worked out when you do take those chances.
Iglesias Valdez, again, not a very clean line out from Argentina, but they do have the ball again. Here's Herrera, using him as a ball carrier. And in there hard and fast, disrupting. Tunnel coming through. Argentina do just enough to clear the danger.
Herrera's being used increasingly by the Argentinians. He's a big man. They're getting the leech on him very well and driving in. But here we see Trimble getting almost away from Tuchel. He got the handoff, beautiful fend, but the tap tackle really did for Trimble there.
Did himself some damage, Tuchel, with that tap tackle, so Orlando is on for him. Maybe a blood replacement though. I don't want to miss Tuchel for too long. He's been exceptional through 2 tests. Trimble hammered on the game line. Now it's Ian Henderson's turn to carry for Ireland. Owen Redden, wasn't a great presentation there. Is Rory Best. Redden, Johnny Sexton, Fergus McFadden, Rob Carney, who looked like Ireland's most potent attacker in that first half.
All looked a little bit lateral there. Sexton a little bit lateral, McFadden a little bit lateral. Then didn't leave much for Carney to do, and he ended up dinking the balls into touch again. Not what he would have desired. He would have wanted to keep it in and for the Argentinians to kick out, but not quite straight enough. Not enough direct runners from the Irish backline at the moment.
A little bit sluggish and treacly looking the way the Irish backline is operating right now. Can they improve? Here's O'Connell. Another penalty advantage here to Ireland. Off goes on red inside. Simon Zebo. The Shamrock Express is away for Ireland. And that was desperately what this Irish touring team needed.
Very clever by the 2 main ball carriers there. Redden broke right. We've seen him do it a number of times and toss it back inside to Carney. This time it was Zebo hiding brilliantly on the short side, and he was never going to be stopped from there when he made the break.
He isn't trying to produce the spectacular as Simon Zebo, a couple of Heineken Cup hat-tricks, and you have to say the man is showbiz.
Yeah, but look at his positioning. That was the key there. He remained hidden the whole time. He moves a metre the other way, and the Argentinian is going to be able to see him. The pillar defender there breaks left and leave that space inside for Zebo, who exploits it brilliantly. And very good pass, but very, very clever play by Zebo.
Well, relief all round as Ireland move back into the lead. As Argentina bring on a very good
Irlanda, su número 11, Simon Zebo, convertido por el número 10.
The maul has worked well all day. Sanchez commits. Probably shouldn't have committed that tackle. He had no pillar defender on the inside. I was wondering who was there. There was nobody there, and Zebo exploited it.
Jimmy Heaslip, former Ireland captain. Redden. Trimble chases, eyes on the ball. Didn't quite get there. Was taken out in the first test. Off goes Kilcoyne, and there's the pace we were talking about from the Munster loosehead.
He's been carrying so well the whole game. He's very impressive game today, Dave Kilcoyne.
Now it's Fergus McFadden. Redden to Mike Ross. Redden to Ruddock. Ruddock again. His footwork beats the first defender.
Yeah, he's putting a little bit of action on it every single time he gets the ball. Something you wouldn't necessarily expect from a man that big.
Inside pass again to Chris Henry, and now here it is. Rob Kearney tries to step outside. Challenge from Ascarate. Tackle coming in from him. Mike Ross once more. Oh, Ireland not released it. That's the second time they've given away that penalty in this half.
Yeah, they won't be happy with that. Just the numbers not there, quite there in time. As a result, Argentina getting over the ball and being awarded the penalty.
Quite a history, these two sides. They've 3 World Cup meetings. 1999, when our friend Diego Albanese, who's working for Argentine television, scored the try that killed off Ireland in that match. 2003, Ireland beat Argentina 16-15. Alan Quinlan will tell you all about that because he scored a try. And in 2007, Argentina beat Ireland 30 points to 15 on their way to winning Pool D and sending Ireland home. Argentina finishing 3rd in that World Cup. They really did have a wonderful squad at that stage. Here comes O'Connell now. And Owen Redden sees a bit of space in there. And it's Montero to Lucas Amorosino, who's played a fair bit of rugby at fullback. Leicester fans will have seen him play in that position.
Yeah, Montero just hasn't been having the influence on the game that he had last week. They haven't been able to get the ball out to him. In fairness, the challenges in the air of Andrew Trimble have been very good, so the box kick hasn't suited him either. Trimble constantly putting him under pressure, but I thought we would have seen more of him. He's more akin to the type of game that he played in the second half last week.
Rory Best there, the Ulster players in the Ireland squad, quite shocked to hear of David Humphreys' move to Gloucester. Rory Best said he was concerned. Interesting choice of word. Johnny Saxon, a little wraparound. Here's Rob Kearney. Zebo is outside him. Kearney chips for Zebo to chase. Amorosino was there, and Ireland put themselves into a good field position.
Yeah, that's smart play as well. Sexton getting the ball back on the wraparound, passing a beautiful ball out to Kearney, and Kearney putting Ireland down in Pumas territory. And I think we're going to see at least 2 men up in the Ireland line out here.
They're making a bit of a mess of the Argentine line out. They really are challenging hard on it. Turning over ball in this set piece. And again, it doesn't work for Argentina. Landazzo does very, very well to mop it up at the tail. Again, a scruffy ball, poor presentation by Argentina. But yet again, they attempt to go from deep, and the crowd rise to their feet in front of us, blocking our view completely.
Very, very smart play by Sanchez. He's very aware. He's aware every time. Himself and Landazzo, you can see them. They're thinking a couple of phases on. They're not worried about where they are on the pitch. They're worried about what's in front of them, and that's the difference between a really, really top-class player and an average player. They don't mind that it's in the 22. If the correct decision is to move the ball, they'll do it, and that was a great example of it just there.
And there are the line-out stats for you. Ireland winning 13. Remember, a perfect 14 from 14 last week, and 1 against the throw. That's a critical statistic. Ruddock. Ireland setting the drive, and it's a powerful drive, crabbing its way into the Argentine 22. And again, the inside ball from Redden to Zebo. That old 1-2. Rhys Ruddock. Guy's a powerful man. He is a beast, an absolute beast. And here's Darren Cave. Darren Cave stretching. It was all created by Ruddock. Didn't quite get there, did he? Oh, the penalty goes against Cave. So close. That was a hair away from another try.
That was inches away from Darren Cave. He reached out, couldn't quite make the line. In fairness, he did try to get the ball back, but the support wasn't there because it was such an exceptional bait by Rhys Ruddock. Really powerful. He's been one of the big carriers today, and that time managing to get the offload, and good work by Darren Cave to be on his shoulder.
Argentina have conceded 12 penalties so far in this game. That is a big number. I'm sure Dad Mike Ruddock will be watching down in New Zealand. He'll be proud of this man's performance.
And they went high on Rhys Ruddock there, and you can't do it against a man of that power. Huge handoff. Darren Cave had a little reach out for a yard, if not less, from the touchline, and tried to recycle, but gave away a penalty in doing so.
Well, he tried to scramble his way over the line there, Darren Cave, but just scrambled a little bit too much for the referee's liking and giving away the penalty there. And can they yet again make a mess of this Argentina throw to the line out Ireland? Not sure if you can hear Pascal at home. We certainly can't hear him up here in the booth.
Ireland have looked very comfortable at line out time, putting huge pressure on the Argentinian throw.
Oh, good little backflip. And here goes Ascarade. Iglesias Valdez for Landagio. Now it's Sanchez. High ball. In comes Rob Carney. Eyes on the ball. And he watched it well. Here's Sexton. And Argentina are down to 14 men at the moment. They've got a man down injured on the pitch. Here is Sanchez. Amaracino had a spell at Montpellier after Leicester Tigers, and that is going to go all the way on this very firm surface. All the way indeed, and a long way back they will come.
Ascarate is in serious trouble between the 22 and the 10-metre line. You can see he's been down for a couple of minutes, and he's grasping his knee. Hopefully it's not too bad, but he's in serious pain.
Well, he's had a pretty good campaign for Argentina in these two tests. Ascarate, there was a slight weakness in defence last week. He missed 3 tackles, the former Glasgow man, but a lot of good stuff too.
Yeah, he's looked very impressive today.
Meanwhile, as we see how Ascarade suffered the injury, and Nicolas Sanchez is down too. Looks like it might be cramp for Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez is only cramp, but Ascarate, that looks sore. He went to jump step, and I think his right leg just buckled, right knee buckled underneath him.
Jack McGrath is on for Ireland. He was involved in the tackle there. Jack McGrath looks like he's a project tight head. Yeah, it certainly
looks that way. I know it's something that Joe Schmidt has been thinking of and looking to for a number of weeks now.
Although he's playing loose head at the moment because Mike Ross is still on the field. And that's the end of Ascarate, so Gonzalez Iglesias will replace him.
Tight head has been a problem for Ireland in the last while, mainly because in the provinces you have overseas players playing in that position. I know it's frustrating for Joe Schmidt with Afoa, Boha and White all playing for Ulster and Munster and Connacht.
Yeah, it's a good move. Jack McGrath has played AIL at tight head and some rugby there for Leinster. So it would certainly help Ireland's cause if McGrath turned out to be a multi-skilling prop forward. He had a very, very good game in the first test. one of Ireland's top players in that victory.
No.
Yet another good scrummage. Heaslip controls at the base, and it'll be reset.
And there's a lot of animation going on in this left-hand side by Ireland. Now that probably signifies that they're more likely they're going down the short side, but Zebo's very active. Cavan, McFadden,
don't move your head.
Big shot on this side, and a huge short side with just Sexton and Trimble.
No advantage, nothing.
When they last met in a two-test series in Argentina, 2007, Argentina won both games, 22-20 in Santa Fe, thanks to a late Felipe Contepomi drop goal. Contepomi, who dropped into the Irish hotel in Buenos Aires last week, and then 16-0 in Buenos Aires. And after that, Argentina went on to finish third in the World Cup. Here's Owen Redden inside for Rob Kearney. You love the inside pop ball to Ireland. And here it is, Rhys Ruddock finds Henderson. Owen Redden, Jack McGrath, superb ball carrier, Leinster's Players Player of the Year. Redden for Sexton, Darren Cave, now it's McFadden.
Tackler, release, move!
Sexton, Kearney, up quickly as Orlando, the replacement. Heaslip. Redden to Johnny Sexton. Here's Darren Cave, the pass outside to Fergus McFadden. Gets away from that first defender, always so critical. Here goes Redden again. Johnny Sexton for Jack McGrath. Ireland building nicely here. Rory Best for Redden. Here's Sexton for Jimmy Heaslip. Double tackle. What a steal that was. I think it was Sanchez in there who managed to peel the ball away from the Irish ball carrier. The ball's still in play. Back goes Rob Kearney. Strong left foot, as we know.
Sanchez really has the full gambit of skills. He's been passing really well. He's seen the opposition out of position. He's stolen a couple of balls on the ground, and now he's ripping a ball off Jamie Heaslip, which is not an easy thing to do.
And he's really struggling with this cramp, is Sanchez. And they do not want to lose their playmaker at this stage, because Argentina really are in contention here. Chris Henry is now being replaced. And Jordy Murphy, Barcelona born. Jordy Murphy, named Jordy after the patron saint of Barcelona, Saint Jordy. Better line out, Lavanini takes it. 21-year-old second row for Baez, brilliant at offload. Super stuff to Diaz, the Highlander, Nyland Daggio, and here's De La Fuente. Fergus McFadden makes the tackle on him. Good position here for Argentina. Iglesias Valdez, well, he loses the ball in contact, and Jimmy Heaslip takes it on. Can Ireland counter here?
No corner vintage.
Redden to Paul O'Connell, and here it is Fergus McFadden, and the ball floats onto open turf. So Andrew Trimble cuts a line in field, looking for some support. Two players are down injured, one from each side. This is Zebo. Always waiting for Zebo to do something exciting. The boot comes through from Landagio. So again, they didn't protect the ball well there, Ireland. Here's Rob Kearney, and he was put under a lot of pressure from the advancing Argentina defence.
And both sides just aren't committing to the tackle, and as a result there's more turnover. Looks like a reasonably serious injury. Might be a clash of heads here between Johnny Sexton. Certainly.
Johnny Sexton holding his shoulder there. He's a tough hombre, as they say in these parts.
Argentina able to up the tempo there. It's something that we saw last week. And when they do get a flow, when they do get a momentum, they can really take it to Ireland. Ireland having the scramble defence working quite well, but
concussion.
Yes. You don't want them to get the
number 10
foothold in the game at this point.
Good turnout here in Tucumán today. crowd between, looks like between 15 and 20,000. Argentina preparing for their first rugby championship game this year. It's away to South Africa the 16th of August, when all the big clawed Pumas will be back in this team.
And Madigan is on.
And Landazzo is off, so Thomas Kubeli will come on for Argentina. Kubeli, who was on the bench for the Barbarians against England. Here's the clash. Ooh, yeah, looked nasty. Valdez, Iglesias, Valdez, and Johnny Sexton's going off here. As you said, Madigan is on, so a big opportunity in the last 20 minutes here for the Leinsterman, the versatile Leinsterman.
There is, and I wonder if that was the plan, to bring him on at 10, or would he like to see a bit of him at 12? It now leaves a very inexperienced 10, 12, 13 combination.
Well, they're going to hope that Valdez makes it back on the pitch, because they've already lost Matthias Cortese, the original hooker, through injury. So not for the first time in the game, it will not be the hooker throwing into the line out. It's Pastiglione, the prop. It's his turn. And will he be more sensible this time and go short? Well, they've lost another line out. Jack McGrath goes in there, doesn't handle it well. And down on the ball for Ireland goes Jordy Murphy. But here come Argentina. And Kubeli to Lavanini. Kubeli trying to organise his troops around him. And Fayez comes flying in.
I think there's no call. I'm back.
He's going to knock forward in there, though, somewhere. Scrummage to Argentina.
Ireland doing very well to hold the player in the tackle there, something that they've utilised many times. Fayez has been playing well, though, carrying the ball. He's been very eager. He's down on that ball like a flash. Jack McGrath just out of his reach. Fayez all over.
It's the first time the Irish senior side has played in Tucumán. Ireland had a really good run away from home. They've won 4 of their last 5 games away from the Aviva Stadium.
Fine. Set.
So Kubeli to feed. It's a better scrummage by Argentina, but it was initially, and then Ireland driven them over the ball. Brilliant stuff from Ireland. Absolutely sensational.
That's a hugely dominant scrum by Ireland. Like, the Argentinian backline must be absolutely fuming. Very rarely have they had opportunities this deep in the Irish half. They have a perfect opportunity. They'd lined up with huge width, ready to use a back move, and Ireland literally drove Argentina right off the ball.
Well, they've got 3 props in the front row at the moment of Argentina, so there should be no shortage of surge in that department. And Tuculet is back on another injury.
There's been a lot of tackles in this game, a lot of carries, been very physical. As a result, we're seeing bodies going down now.
One here.
Not much sympathy from the ref here, though.
It's not the scrum.
Play continues.
Stay on. Stay on 5. Yeah.
Really best to O'Connell. It's been syrupy smooth, the Irish line-out. Heaslip takes it on. Redden, Ruddock. Great energy shown in this game as Rhys Ruddock. Now it's Ian Madigan, Fergus McFadden. That comes in. But Zebo has it for Ireland. Can't give Zebo a sniff in any channel, tight or wide. Here goes McGrath. Redden comes in for Zebo. Darren Cave couldn't quite squeeze his way through that half gap. Zebo for Heaslip.
And we're starting to see half gaps now. There's a little bit of fatigue creeping in.
The referee says that is an intentional knock forward by Argentina. There's been a lot of penalties in their own half from the Pumas.
3 penalty against Argentina.
It's been that sort of counter-attacking style. They've been hanging in the game, waiting for something to happen and going the length of the field. And
don't forget,
they've been very good at getting in the defensive channel, in between players, making things difficult, as we see Noriega Paz.
They are hemorrhaging front row forwards, Argentina.
We could be getting to the non-contested point here.
Yeah, Miguel Paz, good game last week, made 10 tackles, just 20 years of age, one of the big prospects who have come through the Pampas side. So Ian Madigan, in the absence of Johnny Sexton, with this kick, and of course 9 points of a margin is always a very significant one. He takes them 2 scores away, or will do if he can land it. Madigan, better kick percentage this season at Leinster than Jimmy Gopperth. Saxton, beg your pardon. So used to saying Saxton in an Irish shirt, but it was Ian Madigan, and that could be critical over the duration of this last 12 minutes. That miss as Herrera returns to the field. A tight head for Argentina.
I wouldn't like to be the one to tell him he has to come back on.
Yeah. Owen Redden is back there. Here's Madigan.
He's outside, eh?
Played with such confidence when he came on in that Celtic League final. Of course, Madigan was the man who scored the try to beat Ulster in the semi-finals. And again, Tucumán is beating the Irish defenders. That's to La Fuente. Here is Rob Kearney. Has a little look up. Tries to weight the kick into that far corner. And that's well played by Montero.
Just execution a little bit off by Carney. There was the right move, huge space in behind Montero. He found the space, maybe a couple of meters too long.
Time off. 5.
Another replacement coming on for Argentina.
Single.
It's Matthias Alemano. Should point out Ireland missing a lot of players for this tour. O'Brien, Darcy, O'Mahony, Healy, Henshaw, Cronin, Earls, Moore, Bowe, Dan Toohey, Paddy Jackson, Richard Strauss, Luke Fitzgerald, and I should add to that number, sadly, Stephen Ferris, who's been forced to retire through injury.
Leave it!
Here is Heaslip.
It's the same ball.
Can Ireland take advantage of this young and possibly tiring Argentina team in the final 10 minutes? Ian Madigan, Fergus McFadden, Darren Cave tries to put ball to toe. And off come Argentina again with that rope-a-dope style of theirs, but it's an offside. The ball knocked forward and then picked up, and this really is in an eminently kickable position now for Ireland.
Yeah, and I think they'll certainly look for the points. Again, though, Ireland, the Irish attack just a little bit lateral. They're getting it. The Argentinians are giving them enough space.
In front, the kicker, praise the ball.
There's room for a corner here, Shane.
Yeah, stop me in mid-sentence. Yeah, unusual, but I think he's managed to get that right into the corner 5 meters out. And you look at the rolling ball so far this half, they've made the first 5-7 meters quite easily, and then it's come to a stop. I think they're probably a call from Paul O'Connell there saying our forwards want to go with this.
Well, the line-out's been so good, and there's a lot of youngsters now off the bench for this Argentina team, and there's a lot of experience in this Irish side, and it's Jordy Murphy. Neat little move. Off goes O'Connell, trying to shoulder his way through that Argentine defence, and now it's Jack McGrath. Jack McGrath held up by Cariza. Ireland doing some pummeling here. Now it's Owen Redden. Rhys Ruddock, he deserves a try for his work rate and footwork in this game. Now here is Madigan. You just feel maybe something is coming shortly here for Ireland, because Argentina are absorbing a huge amount of pressure here, and it's Best who goes for the line.
No, leave it.
Can they retain the possession here? They have done. It's McGrath once more. Ireland staying close to the forwards at the moment. Henderson this time. Owen Redden goes in. Rhys Ruddock's turn. This is good defence by Argentina. Real commitment from them in front of their big home crowd. Ian Madigan tries to step. Brilliant by Madigan. That is fabulous stuff by the replacement for Johnny Sexton. A glistening little manoeuvre from Madigan, and that will seal the win in the Test series for Ireland.
Yeah, that's sharp play by Ian Madigan there. Stood flat. We've seen him do it many times for Leinster. He's done the same for Ireland here. Big step off the left foot. Again, some of the Argentinians, bigger men, after great patience from Ireland. That was the key for Ireland, could retain the ball, retain. Eventually a mismatch would come, and it did come, and Madigan exploited it. Big left foot step, and that's what he can do. Keeps the ball in two hands. He's a threat, and no stopping him there.
Well, I said there was a bit of showbiz about Simon Z. There was a bit of showbiz for me and Madigan too at times.
He's very good when you get in the opposition 22. We've seen that many times when there is a bit of forward momentum. He calls for the ball while the team is still going forward. That allows him to take the ball at pace, and he's very powerful off that left foot. And we see it again. Not an ideal pass. He took it up out of the sky, and then a big step.
Spectacular footwork by Ian Madigan to score that try, and James Cronin comes on to make his debut. He's really fast-tracked his way through to the Ireland team as James Cronin from the Munster Academy. Here's Tucumán. Looks like he's been to the dentist, having taken that crack, tackling Andrew Trimble.
Back, no.
Owen Redden to Jamie Heaslett. Can they finish with a bit of a flourish here? Ireland now taken on by Cronin. Super by Cronin, and he tried the offload away, but that has gone forward.
Yeah, nice break by Jamie Heaslett. We're seeing the offload start to come, and a great trail line by Cronin, looking for the ball, hungry. And I think we're seeing that evolution in Irish props as well. It's not just about scrum time. So Jack McGrath, Kilcoyne been carrying very well. Ross is your traditional scrummager, but he's been looking for ball as well, and unfortunately just going forward there from the big man.
Tucumán looks like he's been to not a very good dentist by the look of that bandaging. And again, it's the prop forward. He's going to put the ball into the line out here for Stiglione. So an opportunity for Ireland perhaps to challenge and get their hands on it, but he's done well this time to find Alamano. Jordy Murphy comes in and makes the tackle. This is Kubeli. Now De La Fuente. Five minutes to go. Job done for Ireland. It wasn't easy for them for long tranches of this game. Off goes Andrew Trimble.
All of a sudden Argentina are looking a little tired as the spaces are starting to open up. Ireland are making yards on contact.
Ian Madigan, one of those fizzing passes from him, and it's Noel Reid, another man making his debut for his country, for Leinster coming on as Ireland go in off their feet and give away the penalty.
And he wasn't given the most comfortable passes to introduce him to international rugby there.
I think the only player not to be capped left in the 29-man squad is Rob Herring, but he's about to come on for Rory Best.
And that was a beautiful kick, really pressurising Ireland now. If they can get this ball with no one to throw the ball into the line out, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. We might see a little variation, something at the front of the line out, or maybe a two. Other than that, it's a very big ask.
Well, they scored a try late in the game in Resistencia at Argentina and kept going right to the end, despite the fact that they were a beaten team. There's a good line out this time. Stiglione seems to be the answer. That line out time, that's a great drive. What are they going to do to Ireland in Tucumán what they did in the Chaco province? But it's been held up.
They did.
Okay.
Well, they've collapsed them all, Ireland, so the referee brings them back for the penalty.
I imagine they might go back into the corner. I can't imagine that they'd want a scrum, the struggles that they've had there. And that was a very effective line-out maul. Ireland opting for the little move around the front of the line-out when they had their opportunity, and don't know if that was necessary. They just had the power to drive over Argentina, and Argentina are going to try and do what Ireland failed to do now.
Castiglione. Good throw, good take. De La Vega in possession, but he managed to ship the ball on there. Manuel Cariza with his fourth take of this game. But it comes to naught. It's not what they wanted Argentina, though they do get the scrummage.
No, they didn't have the intricacy in the setup that Ireland have had in their line-out mauls. They tried to shift the point of attack. It wasn't done correctly, and Ireland were very disruptive.
A lot of injuries in this game, and Argentina have suffered a lot more than Ireland on that front. And Rob Herring, congratulations to him. He comes on for his first cap for Ireland, having come from Cape Town in the Western Province. And Kieran Marmion, who had a pretty sprightly and effervescent appearance off the bench in the first test, he's on for Redden.
Yeah, he did. He looked really sharp when he came on. It was unfortunate not to score a try. Maybe broke away a little bit too early from the maul, a little bit too eager, but watching him in training this week, he's been very sharp as well.
Paul O'Connell getting some treatment there. Argentina, of course, this is all about setting themselves up for the Rugby Championship. They've now played 12 games in that, alongside New Zealand, South Africa and Australia, and have only managed one draw. That was 16-all against South Africa and Mendoza a couple of years back, so they found it tough on their introduction to the highest level. Of course, they haven't got the team that they used to have. The Rugby Championship 7 years ago would have been more interesting, perhaps.
Yeah, those teams don't come along very often. It was a really quality Argentinian side.
Bind. Set.
Joe Schmidt will be reasonably happy. You know, they'll have a cup. They'll go back home, having tried out a lot of players. You know, quite inaccurate at times in the back. He won't be happy with the back play. The scrums look very strong on this tour, and the line out has functioned well. So, you know, there'll be plus and minuses. He won't be delighted, but he won't be devastated.
Argentina on the verge of losing their third consecutive test match in this stadium, having lost to Scotland and France in recent times. It used to be a real bear pit for them. They won their first half a dozen internationals here.
Bind. Set.
It's a pretty decent scrummage by Argentina. Kubeli waits. And Kubeli, and through go Argentina again. Well, that's what they did to Ireland in the first test. They scored late. It was De La Vega then. It's Amorosino now.
Yeah, and that was a very soft try for Ireland to concede at this stage of the game. Argentina producing their best scrum. It was a very strong scrum, perfect set, and all it was is a one-out play. Big step off the left-hand foot by Amorosino, but I think it was Marmion was covering the inside there. He won't be happy. A little bit too eager to get out and make the tackle. Similarly in the first half, Henry a little bit too eager. There's plenty of numbers there, just almost trying too hard.
Lucas Gonzalez, Amorosino with the try and the conversion, the extra 2 points added by Santiago Gonzalez Iglesias, and that is the final whistle. And Ireland have won. The Admiral Brown Trophy is theirs. A 2-0 series win. And Ireland, the European champions, have now won 5 of their last 6 away games. The World Cup foundation stones are being bricked slowly into place.